Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaya and this is Just Kaya TV. I am doing a full review of what I thought of Virgin Voyages cruises. I just recently went on Groupcation 2023, which Groupcation at itself is a 10 out of 10. Would recommend, the best group cruise ever. But we went on Virgin Voyages cruises. I wanted to wait till all the vlogs was out. I watched all the videos. I edited all the videos. I've made me a whole list of the things that I liked, didn't like, wouldn't recommend, hated about Virgin Voyages. And this was my first trip. Everything in this video is my views and my views alone. I represent Kaya. And I just wanted to make that known. So this is how I feel and how I felt alone. I'm going to top on a few points. I have made points of the room, the food, entertainment is my big points. And then I also have down drink, shopping, and atmosphere. So the first thing that I do want to touch on is the embarkation debarkation process. To me, the embarkation debarkation process was very good. I can't say that it was crazy or anything, because literally, if you think about it, the way Virgin does it is you board in like the afternoon, and then when you get off, you're getting off a little bit later than normal. For me, I don't know if I enjoyed boarding in the afternoon. I'm so accustomed to boarding early. Like my day, for instance, when I come to a cruise and I come in the day before, that's one day. And the next day is cruise day. It is literally cruise day. There's nothing else that go on that day. I don't even eat breakfast. I eat on the ship. I don't eat breakfast. I don't like buy any other food or anything like that, because honestly, I like getting on early, because I feel like I've paid all this money for a trip and you guys are including that day in my trip, so that day is my day alone. My one thing I did like, and I don't know if it was because it wasn't busy or whatever, my time, because you had to pick times, my time was 3:30. We got there all at one time because we were a group and we took a bus together. So we got there maybe at like 2 something. And they didn't look at no time. They literally was just like, okay, let you on. Like the process is very quick, efficient, easily. I had a passport, so I don't know if it's a different process if you have a birth certificate ID. On their thing is they literally strongly recommend, to the point of where I thought you had to just have a passport, but in like small writing, you can have a birth certificate and ID. But it, like I said, it was quick, efficient, but I didn't like that I was just like, okay, it's cruise day, but I'm not getting on until later. So that was something different. And then the later debarkation didn't matter because I left the ship early anyway. And it was very confusing getting off, and I'll talk about that later. But the debarkation, it went by quickly. They did the scanning thing where you scan, because you have a passport, they basically do your picture and like do like a facial recognition thing, and that's all they do. They don't ask you no questions. You just basically do your facial recognition and you go. So that's embarkation, debarkation, all in that share. It was quick, it was easy. I didn't like getting on late. The next thing I want to talk about is the room. So I had a solo insider cabin, and a solo cabin. The only other ships that I know that have solo cabin, I think, is Norwegian if I'm not mistaken. And I heard theirs is small too. I understand y'all making this for one person, but that room's small. It was what it was. I was never really in the room that long anyway, but that room was small. The closet sucked. So because I was on a short cruise, and because to me the room was so small, I was not going to unpack. Like, I've gotten accustomed now to unpacking when I get there, especially if it's like a 5 or longer. I'm definitely gonna unpack. This one I didn't unpack because it was a 4-day cruise. The room was too small, and I was just like, I just didn't feel it. But I should have unpacked because that closet was so small. Like, you couldn't, the room was so small, I couldn't like lay out my suitcase in one area and maybe leave it laid out like that, or lay out my suitcase on the floor and still have walking room. I had my suitcase kind of like this in the closet. And that wasn't even it. And they have no door on the closet. That was another thing. The thing was just like a sliding thing, and when I tell you, it irritated the life out of me with that little sliding thing. And I was just like, kick my suitcase in there. It was a whole mess. The bathroom was teeny tiny. If you've ever been on the Mardi Gras, I heard the celebration, all them, the bathroom is about the same size as those bathrooms. To me, it was a little tiny bit smaller, and I don't even know how you can even get smaller than that. But to me, it was a little bit smaller, but the bathroom was small. The shower had 2 different things. It had a rainfall, and then it had like this like one thing. And so if you turned it one way, it was the rainfall. If you turned it another way, it was the one thing. And if you turned it off from the one thing and you turned it too fast, you was gonna get wet with that rainfall. The door was confusing because it pushed in and out, but if you pushed it in a certain way, it would get stuck. And the shower like sprayer thing was powerful. I'm telling you, like, I would just literally lather up my rag, cut the thing off, and do what I need to do, and then like basically hose myself because it was so powerful. It was like hurting. If that makes any sense. The tablet function of the room, I liked it. I really liked the tablet function of the room. It was nice that you could control everything from the tablet. So when I got in bed at night, and especially on this cruise because I was a little tipsy every single night, it was great that I didn't have to get up and like flick a switch, because the switch, surprisingly how small the room was, the switch was not like right there like at the bed or anything. So the tablet function where I could just like press the moon and it would cut every light off in the room, or press the light, the sun, like it was look like a sun, and you just pressed it and all it came on. I enjoyed the movie selections on the TV. They had some good movies on that TV, is all I'm saying. Like, if this room was bigger and more comfortable for me to be in, I would have enjoyed just sitting in that room watching movies, because the movies were good. But the television shows, they only have like, it showed like 6 channels, and 2 of them, one was BBC news, one was BBC like a regular television station, and then they had 2 sports, then they had 2 that said like Virgin something. Where was the show? Like, I know Carnival don't have an extensive thing, but they at least have some, like something. Like, and then I wanted to, because I was in the inside room, I wanted to see like the outside deck. On Carnival, there's like 2 channels that you can see, like the Lido deck where the people walking, or you can see like the view from the front. I could not figure out where those channels were, if they had them channels. That was very confusing to me. The beds, because I gotta look at my list. The beds was very short. I'm a short person. I'm like roughly like 5'4" in that area. Maybe in between 5'3", 5'4". I'm short. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm short. Them beds was on the floor. There was some short beds. To me, it reminded you of like a toddler bed, or like a child bed that's like really low to the floor. I did not enjoy that. I didn't enjoy the bed being on the floor. Like, I didn't enjoy it. Overall, the room was beautiful. The stuff was nicely done. I did not use room service, so I can't comment on that. But that's all I'm gonna say about the room, because I knocked off everything. We gonna go to the food. I ate at several different places. I ate at Gumby. So for Virgin Voyages, is like everything is included. Your tuition, your taxes and port fees and gratuities, and all of that is included in your fare, right? So with that being said, also all of the specialty restaurants, so there was no like upcharge restaurants or anything like that. They had upcharge things on the menu, but they didn't have upcharge restaurants. So every restaurant, everybody had an opportunity to go to if you wanted to, like that, but you had a reservation. So the ones that I ate at was Gumby, Peak Agave, The Wake, Razzle Dazzle, and the main one, which would be compared to like your buffets, called the Gallery. There was this little place, I don't know exactly the name of it, but they had like milkshakes, wings, hot dogs, pretzels. I did have some wings from there. They had an ice cream place. I had ice cream. Oh, and I didn't write this down, but they had a pizza place. I did have pizza from there. And I forgot to write the pizza down. I don't know why I forgot to write the pizza down. But we're going to start there. The pizza did not like. Everybody kept on, like, in all the vlogs. And I'm going to keep referencing to this. One of my issues, I came on there with high expectations. Because a lot of, like, YouTubers were like, this like the best, the food is this, the food is amazing, this and that. So I was very excited. I'm a food person. I like to eat, okay? I like to eat, and I enjoy, like trying new foods. I am not a picky eater. I will try anything, almost anything once. So I'm not a person that I got to have like a certain thing or whatever. So for me, I was excited. I'm like, yes, all the dining included. And I was not pleased. The pizza was nasty. Everybody kept saying, oh, you got to get the one, the pretty fly for a white guy, which is kind of comparable to Carnival's Quattro Formaggio, which is like a 3-cheese pizza. So it's comparable to that. It was not good. One of the problems is the pizza came like this. Let's say it's like this. About this much had the stuff on it, and then the rest of it was crust. It was not like, okay, where's the stuff? And then the stuff was flavorless. Like, there was no flavor. I was very disappointed. I also had a barbecue chicken pizza. Not good neither. The flavor was missing from the pizza. Somebody said the pepperoni was good. I didn't try the pepperoni, so I can't comment on that. But what I had was not good, and I was not enjoying the pizza. And I was very disappointed by the pizza. We're gonna go on the gallery. The gallery is almost like if you've ever experienced like a food hall, where you go to like an area, it's all these different like, basically like restaurant stands, and you're ordering, you could order from different places if you want to, or you can order from one place, whatever. Their style of how they do it is when you sit down, they have like this menu thing sitting up there that you can scan, and you get the menu on your phone, and you flip the thing up that's saying, that's basically telling them, hey, come service me, you know, whatever. They had a all day breakfast thing, like a diner. They had a burger place, tacos. They had a sweet spot, which is like desserts. They had a noodle place, which is like those like ramen noodles. They had sushi. I think that's pretty. Oh, they had a sandwich. Like you can get sandwiches and stuff too. I had noodles once. I had burgers a few times. I had a sandwich one time. I did not have any tacos. I had sushi. I had a salad. They had a salad bar. And I had some dessert. Oh, I had some of the breakfast too. The breakfast was okay. I did not enjoy the eggs. The French toast was good. To me, to rate the whole like restaurant area, it was okay. It was almost like everything was missing some flavor. The burgers were not, they didn't come dressed, so you had to put your own mayonnaise, mustard, so it was just regular. Definitely wasn't a guy's burger. The noodles, I needed to add like soy sauce and sriracha, whatever, to make it be what I wanted it to be. So the place to me was like meh. It was like meh. Oh, and one thing that I was mad about, like it was one day that I was just mad. I was mad. I didn't even record it, but I was mad. I had went to that little salad station, had got this nice salad. I was like, put this, put that, and I love a salad. Put this, put that. I told her to give me a little bit of balsamic and some ranch. And she literally like gave me a little balsamic and she poured the ranch on. I'm like, yes, I like a saucy salad. Like I like my salad to be dressed. The salad dressing tastes like nothing. I was so mad that Dante was like, here, get this burger. I was mad. And then I had ordered like a sandwich that was, they were calling it a pastrami something, but it was basically a Reuben. And I asked the man, can I get extra $1,000 dressing on it? And he was like, it's already pre-made. I said, well, can I just get it like on the side or an extra cup? He was like, it's pre-made. I said, well, can you ask? And he did not give me the extra $1,000, and the sandwich was so dry. I was when I tell you, I was so upset about that salad not being good, because this was maybe day 3 and that I have had enough. Anyway, I had a burger that day because but the gallery, like I said, it was meh. The first place we ate was at Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Dazzle is a vegan restaurant, and they do have like meat and stuff. From what I remember, because I'm gonna be honest with you, that day I was a little toasted. The food was okay. They had fried green tomatoes and okra. I asked for some hot sauce because I like hot sauce on my fried green tomatoes. It needs a little salt on it. I think I had like a lamb shank or something like that. It was good. It was pretty good. But I also had razzle dazzle for breakfast one day. The food was cold and it was not good. The eggs was almost like they had powdered eggs. It wasn't good. So again, it get a meh. It get a meh again. We ate, let me see, I'm trying to make sure that I give y'all everything. We ate at Gumbay one day. Gumbay is a Korean barbecue place. That place was fun. The music was fun. They had drinking games. It was a fun atmosphere. They had lots of food. The food was good. I will give it that. That one would get a more than a mad. It would get a good. It was good. It wasn't like the best of the best, but it was good, especially for what it was. The wake. I ate the wake. I had brunch at the wake, and I had dinner at the wake. And at brunch, I had a steak and eggs. I don't know what it was about the eggs in that place, but the eggs weren't good. But that steak was very good. It was hot. It was good. So I was so excited to eat dinner there. And when we went there for dinner, my steak was cold. It wasn't like nothing was good. And I was so upset about that. The last place we ate at was Pink Agave, which is a Mexican restaurant. That was the best food that I had on that ship. That food was good. The steak was cooked perfectly. Everything was good at that restaurant. I had the wings that were weird. So for the food, one of the reasons I was not having as great, well, I had a great time, but one of the reasons why this cruise is not ranking anywhere at the top of my list is because all the food was just not good. It was just not good. It was just like, seriously. Anyway, we're gonna move on to entertainment. The things that I did as far as entertainment was, we went to a pajama party. They had a 70s night. I went to one show which called Dual Reality, Scarlet Night, the Sail Away Party, and then live entertainment around the ship. I saw one live entertainer. He was really good. He was like a blues singer. He was singing Johnny Taylor. He was really good. Now, the pajama party was fun until it was one of my issues. This is my issue with the whole thing. You tell me party, so let me party. So they would allow you to literally party for at least about 20 or 30 minutes before they would actually start the party. If that makes any sense. So we partying, getting our life together, and then they break in and say, y'all ready for the pajama party? And I'm like, I thought it was already here. And then they start breaking out this song and doing this and that, and it was just weird after that. Like, it was just weird. But of course, we are who we are. We made it and we had a great time. The 70s night, the same thing. We get in there, they got 70s music, and we having a good old time. Then they break it up and have a circus performance in the middle of that. And it's like, now you've made it weird. Scarlet Night, to me, it was fun in a way. So it was fun to be, everybody was dressed in red. It was fun to see everybody dressed in their red stuff. But they had like all these performances around the place where they were doing all these dances. And it was just weird. Veronica had said in her live how they were like worshiping this octopus god. And they were literally like chanting and doing like stuff to the octopus god. I found that very strange. And I didn't understand it. They did that kind of at the Sail Away party too. Not the Sail Away party, the pajama party too, where they were talking about the god of octopus, blah, 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 whatever. I found that to be very strange and very weird. And yeah, the only God that I worship is the Jesus Christ. That's all I know. But it's like everything was just weird. I went to one show which was called Dual Reality, and that show was just strange. So you talking about, we go in this show, and they just kept saying, once the show starts, you can't leave. And I kept thinking to myself, should I leave? I even asked Veronica, should we leave? Because that was just so weird to me. Then all of a sudden, people who were sitting in the audience started arguing with each other. And I'm thinking, what is going on? Like, it was a part of the show. it was no announcement that the show was gonna start or anything. It just started, and they started fighting each other from left to right, and I was just confused. And I'm like, this is so strange. I'm like, did they slip me something? It just felt so. The whole show was strange and weird, and I couldn't wait to get up out of there. And that was the only time that I was freezing. Like, normally on the ship it's cold, but it was never like, I ain't gonna say it was hot, but it was never like cold on this ship. But in that room, that was the only time I was freezing and I couldn't escape. And I'm going so backwards, but the silhouette party was so fun because guess what? We made it fun. The music that they play on that ship is more so like a pop, what's it called? I can't even think. I kept saying I was on a rave. Cause then everything was like, they ain't play no slides or none of that. Everything was like pop music, like music. And so that was the entertainment. The entertainment was not my favorite. It was very weird. It was very weird to me. The drinks on the ship were strong. Majority of the drinks at the bars, I said this before, if you go on this ship, and I'm not telling you not to go on this ship, I'm just giving you my experience. All the drinks that they had, like cute little names like Froyo and all this stuff, were nasty. But drinks like your traditional, like umbrella sour, old fashioned, those are really good. So if you're gonna get a drink, get a trusty old standard old drink. Do not go off their little thing. The drink like bar tab aspect, I love that. It was so nice to be able to like buy somebody else a drink and all that stuff. And I'm not a drinker, so I was just buying, hey, you want a drink? You want a drink? So it was fun to do that. They did have shopping around the ship. Now, mind you, they have like, to me, they had like two different areas. One area was like your high-end Louis Vuitton, Gucci. Like they literally had like those stores. Like I went in one store and the dress was like $200 and something, and I bagged myself up out of there. They had a typical like on the other side, they had like the stuff that you would typically see, like a store where you can get like drinks and like alcohol and stuff, like souvenir like candy and stuff like that. They also had like a logo store where you can get all their logo gear and stuff like that. They had the perfumes and the regular stuff. They had a tattoo parlor on there if you want to get a tattoo a tattoo on your cruise. But they had like high-end stuff too as well. The shopping was okay. I bought keychains and stuff like that. I didn't buy like any major things because I didn't use none of my money. I used all that money. I had $50 in Sailor Loot, and that's what I used. If you want to know about the casino, it was small. I really didn't do anything in the casino. I was gonna try to do that $50 in Sailor Loot from in the casino, but I couldn't figure out how to work it. Like you had to scan your little thing. Oh yeah, also you didn't get a key card. You just got like a little bracelet. You had to like put your bracelet on the thing, and the I couldn't figure out like how to make it work because it wasn't like I could just choose some money and play like that. It kept asking for a PIN number, and I didn't know how to set that up. And this is, I've talked about all the main stuff that I want to talk about. So now I'm going to tell you. So on that ship, they encourage basically almost like you need to be using an app. I couldn't figure their app out. I figured that app out in the end to book that show because everything had to be booked. Like you couldn't just walk up to be like, oh, they got a show going on, I'm going to go in. No, you had to book the shows. You had to book the restaurant. You had to book everything. Now, once it's almost time for the show to start, they will, if it's room, they'll let you in. Just like at the restaurants, you can go there and say, hey, I got a party of 2. Do y'all got any accommodations? you can do that, but that don't mean that you're gonna get in or get that reservation. The app was confusing to me. I couldn't figure stuff out with it. I could figure out how to like book restaurants, but I couldn't figure out how to book shows until literally the very end. I couldn't figure out what was going on during the day or whatever on the app. And I found out now that I'm off the ship that you could have went to certain areas and got like a paper copy to know what was going on. It would have been nice to know that while I was on the ship, but I didn't know. There were no announcements. So like, if you go on a typical cruise like Carnival or anybody else, you're going to hear when you get on there like the boom, boom, boom. And then there's no cruise director. The cruise director come on and say, hey, good morning. Today we got this, that, blah, blah, blah. No, none of that. There was no announcements. We got the Key West. The only reason why you would know that you were there is because in the elevators they had like Key West. Time, getting here time to get back on. And you would just guess like, okay, maybe we here. Maybe we can get off. They didn't like, Carnival literally comes on and says, we are here. The gangway's free. You can get off if you want to. Like, they didn't tell you nothing. They were like, y'all are adults. This is an adult cruise. There are no kids. You better figure out your life. And that's how I felt. I felt like you need to figure out your life. And that's what it was. It was what it was. Like, you were an adult. Like, you drove this car here. But it was just so strange to me that we didn't get no announcements. I think there was one announcement in the beginning about the muster drill. And that was it. And let me tell you about the muster drill. You have to watch the little video on the tablet. And when you get done watching the video, at a certain time, again, just like old deal, everybody got to go and watch the thing. There is no, like how Carnival got the new style where you log in on your phone, do the thing, and then you go to... No. Now Carnival, you just basically go to your muster station when you get on and they show you whatever and then you done. No, you had to wait. Everybody had to go at a certain time. It didn't have a cruise director. I enjoyed cruise director and I didn't like they didn't have a cruise director. They did not have any photos. Like, there was no places where they were taking your pictures or anything. Like, they literally were like, hey, you an adult. There's an adult on the cruise. You better figure your life out. The hall lighting was weird. I just wrote the stuff down. The hall lighting was weird. It didn't, it was always like purple, dreamy, romantic-y lights in the hallway. It's kind of weird to me. Oh, one thing I forgot to talk about it, the ice cream station. I will, to compare it with Carnival wins. I like an ice cream that's rotating. Like, that type of ice cream is so good. The little scooped out ice cream, it was okay. Some of it was just like water. I had like a key lime one. It was good. I had a strawberry one. I did not like it. I literally one time just asked them for a cone because I didn't like the ice cream, but I wanted something sweet. And one more thing I want to touch on from the ship is, like with that app, it would alert you of stuff. It didn't alert you, oh, you know what? This is how I knew how to get that I was at Key West or at Bimini. The app did alert you. The app came on and said, we are in Bimini. That is how I knew. I forgot about that. But nobody came on and said anything, but the app said, hey, welcome to Bimini or whatever. But that app literally tried to sell me another cruise every chance it got. And also in your room, I felt like every day they was putting a flyer like, hey, if you book a cruise on this cruise, we're gonna give you this much bar tab and blah blah blah, Stop trying to sell me. I'm already not sold right now. I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy that like every few minutes. Like Carnival app don't do that. They don't try to sell you another cruise. They're trying to sell you all day, and they still been sending me emails. At the beach club, because they had like a Bimini, they had their own beach club. It's almost like kind of like one of those all-inclusive resorts where you go there, and they have like at the pool they dancing and partying or whatever. I like the beach club. I like they had lots of lounge chairs out on the beach. They had lots of areas at the pool. They had 2 different big, huge pools that you could sit at. I enjoyed the beach club. What I was mad about was they did not have any ice in the drink machines for water or sodas. But at the bar, they had ice. And if you asked them for ice, they told you no, it's for the drinks. That made me so mad because I'm like, how y'all is 1,000 degrees and y'all not gonna give us cold water? Y'all not gonna give us cold water? It's so ridiculous. And then something I forgot to talk about on the ship. The pool to me was weird. I understand the concept of what they were doing. Like the way the pool is shaped, it's like this, like a long rounded thing, however you describe it. In the middle was a square box. That was all of like the swimming area. On this little flat little area was water, but it was more like a standing, like a waiting thing. And to me, it was more so like you can sit and you can dance and party, but it wasn't practical. Like the pool was so small. They had another pool, which was like a circular pool, but that pool was hot, like a hot tub. And then the pool, I had to get a running start to jump up on the ledge to get in the pool because it was so high. So I'm gonna pick out 3 things that I enjoyed and 3 things that I absolutely hated. 3 things that I enjoyed was the tablet in the room. I'm trying to think. I enjoyed, can't even think of nothing else that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the live music from that man. And I enjoyed the bar tab. 3 things that I absolutely hate. I hated the bathroom. I hated I hated the food. And I hated them trying to sell me another cruise on the cruise. I'll wrap it up. Would I go on Virgin again? It would have to be free to almost free in order for me to go on them again. Like, I would like to go on them again just to make sure, but I don't want to pay no lot of money to not be happy. I've learned one thing in these 38 years of my life, that I don't want to pay money to be miserable. If I'm going to pay my good money to you, I want to have a good time. I want to have good food, and I want to be happy with what I purchased. So, would I go on them again? Yes, if it's free to almost free. If it's regular price, no. Not at all, because I need to be happy with what I'm purchasing. I was very missing Carnival. And so that is my wrap up of Virgin Voyages. I've been talking for 38, really about 40 minutes about this ship. And I wanted to give y'all a good review. So, like I said, this is my opinion and my opinion alone. And I would rather somebody tell me how they felt honestly than to sugarcoat it and I go on there and I'm surprised. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all enjoyed the full Virgin series. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time. Bye, y'all.